I got my sun hat on today, and I think it's very cute. I actually had a couple of them last year, and my children, liked them, and they would play with them. And then when we moved, I could not find them. So, anyways, hey, what am I doing today? And really, it's not the greatest thing to record, but it is a real thing to record. And my feelings on being real in general. So I'm out of breath because I just kind of been doing a lot. I want to share. So I have here some marigolds that I started from seed. I do not know which marigolds these are because this was in the batch of stuff that I had planted, and then the twins took the labels out. So these are marigolds. I know that because of the leaves. That's all I know. I am going to plant them in this bed, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, first, let me just address this. Do you see what my squash plants are doing? Now, this bed is well watered. It looks dry on the top. I really should mulch, but I have not gotten there yet. In fact, I shouldn't even be over here. I should be finishing up the bed that's not finished so that I can fill it and plant my cucumbers, because I am way behind on that. But I digress. But I wanted to get these in for a number of reasons. Main one being I just keep forgetting. But they are drooping over. It is well watered. If I stick my finger in there, like below the top surface, it is going to be damp. The top surface is, of course, in the sun and has evaporated, and so that's why it looks dry. That is why it's important for you to not just look at it and be like, oh, it's dry, let me water. You want to stick your hand, finger, whatever, down in there to see if there's moisture. Not only that, but I do actually plan on turning on the sprinklers this evening. Not necessarily because this is drying out, because again, I actually watered and fertilized yesterday afternoon. Or was the day before yesterday? It was the day before yesterday, because I'm doing an every other day watering thing. So the day before yesterday, I watered really heavily, and then I fertilized with it. But because of the sun, so things like squash, cucumbers, even some of your collards, greens, so my collards are sort of kind of doing the same thing, where they're drooping over and they look like they're just in so much distress. They're not necessarily in distress. Let me not say that, because scientifically, I am not 100% sure. Again, I am learning just like you all. But what I will say is it's not something that I need to be concerned about. What's happening is it's very hot. Very hot. And they just kind of do that in the sun. And then they're going to perk back up at night. And if I had a way to show you that, I would. And I probably, let me not make promises, because I've been doing that and then not following through. And I hate being that person. But at night, or when the sun goes down, they perk back up. This is just how they're going to look naturally in this heat. It is probably 90 degrees right now. I am not 100% certain. And so everything, look at my kale. I don't know if you can see that, but they're drooping too. Again, this is well watered. I don't have any curling leaves on my tomatoes, and they're in the same exact bed. It's not dry. I wouldn't go and just start spraying water on this right now. Now, again, I am going to water tonight, but not because of this. So I just wanted to make that very clear, that your squash, cucumbers, some greens that are normally cool weather crops are going to do that in the middle of the day when the sun is directly over them, okay? And then they perk back up when the sun is not torturing them. I mean, I'm sweating and ready to droop too. So, now I came over here because I have some bad damage, and this is actually the first damage I have in this bed. So I would probably assume that there is something, or was, if not is, something on here eating. I don't see any other plant with damage in this bed. Now, I came out here with a black light the other night, and I do not remember if I picked anything off of this particular plant. I just don't remember. I don't remember, unfortunately. I don't see anything right now, but it was a really quick glance. But this is when I would start to sprinkle some diatomaceous earth, when I start seeing stuff like this. I'm not just gonna wait a minute. This plant is demolished, and I actually saw all the way from over there this little bugger. I don't know if you can see that right there. Now, I doubt that it moved from that plant to over here, but we are going to pick you off and take you to your new home in the chicken's belly. I don't see anything on that one. I'm gonna have to come back out here tonight with the black light, and maybe I'll record that and also show you that the plants are no longer drooping, but I plan on watering, so I can think that defeats the purpose. All right. I wish I had more. No, I don't, because then I have more plants destroyed. Sorry, only one person can get one chickie. And it looks like the rooster got it. All right, back to what I actually came out here for, since I can't edit still. Marigolds. The reason I'm going to plant these marigolds over here is because these squash plants it looks like they're going to start flowering, which means they need to be, it looks like a lot of places where it's going to start developing some blooms, and they're going to need to be fertilized. I mean, not fertilized. They're going to need to be pollinated. One thing I learned the first year I tried to plant or grow squash is if you don't have pollination, you don't get any squash. They literally will shrivel up. Like, you'll see the blooms, you'll see the males, you'll see the females, but if they're not pollinated, they just shrivel up and fall off. So a trick is to put things in your garden that is going to attract pollinators. And so flowers, of course, attracts pollinators. I have defaulted to marigolds in my garden just in general because of the benefits that come with them. I did say that this year I was going to attempt to grow other flowers now that I have more space, but I didn't have seeds for other flowers. I had a lot of marigold seeds. So I'm going to plant marigolds all throughout this garden, especially in areas like this where I need pollinators to come. So that's what I'm going to do. And I left, again, my... Oh, man, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to set this phone up. There we go. And so, as with anything else that you plant, make sure it is well watered. This has a lot of moisture on it. And this area right here, there is literally nothing. And as you can see that darker soil? That's what I mean by it is moist. This is just dry because it's on the top. But right here, nice and moist. But I'm just going to stick that right there and cover that up. And I'm actually going to plant all 4 of these in this area, and really no rhyme or reason for it, if I'm just being honest. I just want them to, of course, be able to get some sun, and being that the sun where it travels, it's not shade. The tomatoes aren't shading right here. Now, if I had stuck it on the inside right here, the tomatoes would shade it, and originally that was my plan. But I think what I'm gonna do in the future is plant my tomatoes further back and trellis it a little different. I think I'm gonna leave the arch trellises for things like green beans and stuff. So I'm gonna plant them a little bit further back, and so I'll have space in front to put some pretty flowers. So this is what I am doing today on my lunch break. Always taking up my lunch break doing something. And then I'm gonna go back inside and try to eat something. So, quick video. And that's probably not a great place because those collards are gonna grow up right there. I might just find a different place for this this fourth one. Anywhere will do. Is there anywhere else that I will need pollinators? I'll just stick it over here with this side. Another thing I did before I leave, and I'm hoping that it looks really pretty. This is a part of me beautifying my garden. I saw it on, I think I saw it on an IG post. I had a bunch of these little solar lights, pathway lights that I had bought for the front of the house. And unfortunately, at the time, the lights weren't very, what's the word I'm looking for? They were very dim, and I was impatient because I'm gonna let that go to seed, because I wasn't getting a lot of sun in the front of the house, and these were cheaper, the ones that I have. So I have one here, got one in that bed, I skipped a bed, I got one in that bed. So basically it's like going like a zigzag. There's also one at the end of this bed over there. So I bought some from Sam's Club. They were a little more expensive and bigger, and they lit up right away, and they kind of make a design on my front pathway. And I might just get a still shot and upload that. And then I was gonna send these back to Amazon, and I left them in the back of the truck and completely forgot about them. So when I saw that picture on Instagram, I said, wait a minute, that is gorgeous. Now, she also had some lights going around her trellis right here, and maybe eventually I'll do that, but I don't want anything that I have to actually pull from my power. And I don't have anything solar, like really big, to plug something up to right now. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait on that, but I do want to see what it looks like at night. These are in direct sun right now. Hopefully that means that it will actually charge the batteries, unlike it did in the front of the house, because the sun is literally like right over top of me. I can't find it in the camera, but if I look up, it's right over top of me. And it'll be there at least, we're in the middle of the day. We have like 5 more hours of sun just in this area for sure. And then over on the other side around, I'll say 6 o'clock, the shade starts to move this way. So these will still get sun for even longer than 6 o'clock. But anyways, that's not what this video is about. So yeah, I'm planting the marigolds so that when they bloom or blossom, then I will get some pollinators attracted to this area, and then they will be able to pollinate the squash that I decided to keep right here, and they're getting quite big. And I'm also going to come out here with a black light again and look for any critters that may still be eating my stuff. because I honestly don't remember if like these are new. This is new damage and stuff over here. I don't see anything right now. It's really hot. I really am supposed to be over here where it's partially shaded, finishing that bed so I can go ahead and fill it up. So that's what I'm gonna go do. I don't think you need to watch me do that. So until next time, be blessed.